Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Leprechaun in the Hood. So here's the deal. I've said this in my previous Leprechaun reviews. The last time I watched this, which was the first time I watched it, I did not enjoy it. But let me tell you what. After revisiting this movie, I thought this was an extremely solid entry. I actually had a really good time with this movie. That's what's cool about revisiting movies, rewatching movies. There's like quite a few movies that I didn't really like the first time I watched them, and then I rewatched them. I'm like, this movie's the bomb.com. This is like where it's at. So yeah, in I believe either in my previous video or the one before, where I'm talking about either Leprechaun 4 or Leprechaun 3, I talked about how, like, the last time I watched all these movies, the ones that I generally liked, the ones that I thought were decent, were Part 3, Part 4, and Leprechaun Returns, and I didn't like the rest. But like I said, upon rewatch, I think Leprechaun in the Hood is a super solid entry, and yeah, it's up there with the good ones in the franchise. I had a lot of fun with this. The kills, there were some surprisingly good kills. There was some very funny moments. I like the whole rap aspect, because I'm a big rap fan. That's like one of my favorite genres. So I like all like the rap elements. That was cool. And I used to I was like rapping for a little bit, like for a couple years. I was like, making songs and making videos, so I kind of related to a lot of like the stuff of like when you're like a younger guy trying to, make music and trying to get it heard and stuff. So I thought that was super relatable. A lot of people like rap and stuff nowadays, so I feel like it's super relatable. But yeah, I watched this movie for the first time probably like a couple years ago. That was like the first time I saw it in its entirety. Like, I watched it by myself, but a couple years before that, my buddy tried to put me on because, okay, so basically I live in Michigan. I live in a suburb of Detroit. Like, I live in like a pretty nice suburban neighborhood, but it's like if you drive 5 minutes, you're in Detroit City, and there's some bad neighborhoods. And there was like, for like a period of time when I was like a little bit younger, like it was probably like 4 years ago or something like that, or 5 years ago. Like, I was hanging around this group of buddies, and it was like half of us were from the suburbs and half of us were from the hood, and we would just kind of like we would like bring the guys from the city to the suburbs, and they would like bring us to the hood, and we would kind of like put each other hip on different stuff. Like, they would bring us to all like the cool food spots in their neighborhood. We would do the same. Like, we would just kind of like put each other on to like different stuff in like the suburbs and the city. And I remember that was my like first introduction of this movie. I had never heard of the movie before, but I was at this one buddy's house, and he lived in the city. Like, you could say it was the hood. It wasn't. It was like Detroit, and it wasn't the best neighborhood. There was like a lot of crime and stuff. So he pretty much lived in the hood. And we were at his house one day, and he's just like whips out his laptop, and he starts like showing us Leprechaun in the Hood. And it was like me and my other buddy who were from the suburbs, and then my buddy who was from the city was showing us the movie. He's like trying to put us hip. He's like, you guys have never seen Leprechaun in the Hood? He's like, this is a hood classic. You guys gotta watch this. And yeah, like, I don't know if that's the general consensus, if this is like regarded as like a hood classic, but he was like, he like really wanted to show us and put us on. He's like, man, you guys gotta watch this movie, it's awesome. And when I was at his house and we initially watched it, I was just watching bits and pieces because we were like hanging out doing other stuff. But you know, I don't know what the general consensus is of this movie, but I don't know. I like, just like the name is iconic, Leprechaun in the Hood. So maybe this is like a well-regarded one in the franchise. And upon rewatching, I could see why it would be, because this is a solid entry. But yeah, that was my first introduction to the movie, and then a couple years later, I was just looking for a franchise to watch because I've always liked like watching an entire franchise of movies, whether it be like a comedy franchise or a horror franchise. I really like just knocking out a whole horror franchise, and I was like, oh, Leprechaun, I've never seen all those. There's like, what? How many are there? 8. I'm like, oh, there's like 8 movies, and there was like a deal. I like bought it on PlayStation digitally. It was like super cheap. I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. Let me watch all these, and that was like the first time I watched Leprechaun in the Hood in its entirety. And yeah, I didn't like it that first time, but you know, I think I was like tired, and I think I was like I drank a lot. I think I had like 9 beers or 8 beers or something, where it was like I drank a little too much, where like I couldn't enjoy it. Like, if you couple drinks, cool, but sometimes you drink, like, you have too many drinks, you can't even enjoy a movie. You're just like, I want to go to sleep, you know. So yeah, yeah, the first time I watched it in its entirety, I didn't like it. But yeah, upon a rewatch, I think this is a super solid movie. But anyways, let me get into the actual review. I'm gonna start with a little plot summary. So yeah, basically, you got, at the beginning of the movie, you got Mac Daddy, who's played by Ice-T, and he's with his buddy. They're like, I think it's like in the Leprechaun's lair, and they're trying to, you know, snatch up all his gold. Mac Daddy like accidentally like resurrects the Leprechaun because the Leprechaun's in statue form, and he like takes this medallion off the Leprechaun and resurrects him. Mac Daddy's buddy is killed, and then Mac Daddy steals this flute, which is like the key to his success, because he later on, this is like back in the day, and then like later on in the movie, in present day, Mac Daddy, he's this big like record label owner. So yeah, and then he eventually like makes like he like defeats the Leprechaun, puts him back in statue form, and keeps the statue. And then it's then we like jump to present day, and there's these 3 young aspiring rappers, and they're kind of like doing it like a little bit different, like they're trying to spread a positive message, and their whole thing is like they want to get new equipment because their equipment's all busted up, and they're trying to participate in this like contest, because if they win the contest, they get like promotion, and they get like a big music video and stuff. So yeah, they're these aspiring rappers. They're trying to get put on. They run into Mac Daddy, and like they're, you know, trying to sign a record deal, but Mac Daddy's like, yeah, you gotta change everything, change your image, change your lyrics. He's like F this positivity stuff. He's like, I want you on that like gangster shoot 'em up stuff. And the main guy in the group, Postmaster P, he's like, no, we're not gonna change our stuff. Like, we've put all this work in, we're not gonna do that. So yeah, like Mac Daddy just totally like goes off on them, disrespects them, kicks them out, and they're mad, so they go back and they rob Mac Daddy. They inadvertently like awaken the Leprechaun, and they steal the flute. So basically, the Leprechaun is after them for the rest of the movie to get the flute back. They thought they killed Mac Daddy, but Mac Daddy is not killed, so he is after them as well for the flute. So that's the basic plot summary. So yeah, one thing, because I mentioned that like I used to dibble dabble with the, you know, rapping and making videos and stuff like that, and basically like how the main guys are like trying to get put on, and they're like, oh, let's talk to Mac Daddy, let's see if he can get us a deal. I totally relate to that. Like, you know, when I was making videos and stuff and making songs and albums, I was always trying to promote my stuff. I was, you know, doing whatever I could to promote it. And I was, at one point, I was working at this pool, and there's this girl there, and she went to high school with his name's Zayon McCall, and he was one of the guys who was on that song Juju on the Beat, which is like a big song. It has like millions and millions of views, and she's like, yeah, I know Zayon McCall, he's on Juju on the Beat. And I was like, what? I'm like, that dude's, you know, that's like a huge song. That's like, that dude's famous. He's got like interviews and stuff. Like, I've seen interviews of him on YouTube. That's a huge song. And she's like, yeah, I can connect you. So I was like, really like, I was like, man, this is a great opportunity. Maybe he could put me on, you know, I could get like some promotion or something for my songs and stuff. This could be cool. So yeah, basically, like, I had put out this video. It was kind of like like a bigger production video. Like, basically, my one buddy in the suburbs, he had like his dad had like a Bentley and a Lamborghini, and like, I'm not like, you know, I'm not like crazy rich or anything. I just live in like a normal, like, middle of the road house. But this one kid, like, his dad was balling, but he was like, you couldn't tell. He was like the most humble, nice kid. Like, he was super down to earth. So, but anyways, yeah, he was the homie. But anyways, yeah, he like let me use his dad's like white Lamborghini in the video, and then like I was like filming at Somerset Mall, which is like a big thing in Michigan. Like, a lot of like the Detroit rappers film there. I'm like at Somerset Mall in the Gucci store and stuff, and then I was like filming at this strip club too. Like, there was like a lot of locations, a lot going on. It was like a big production music video, and like I sent it to this Zayon McCall, and he was like down to meet up because he thought like I was resourceful that I put this whole video together. But it was funny because when I filmed that video, like at the time, I think I was like 19 or 20, and I went to this one strip club that like let people under 21 go there, and it was like the club had just got like shot up, and then it just reopened. So it was like, it was kind of like a shady little club, and yeah, they just let us film all night. It was funny, my buddy and I, it was like, we were two suburban dudes, like the guy who was filming it and myself, we were like two like clean cut suburban dudes, and we just rolled up to this random strip club, and we were wearing like suits, and we or like collared shirts, and we brought like a briefcase, and we were trying to be like super professional, and we're like trying to act like we're some like record label execs or something, and we're just like two like 19-year-old kids, like, and I'm like some SoundCloud YouTube rapper, and he's like some aspiring videographer. That kid actually went on to like, he's done videos for like big time rappers. Like, he's like, I think he does that as a career now. But anyways, it was funny. Yeah, like, we just went up to this strip club in business suits, and we're like, hey, can we film a rap music video here? And then the guy's like, yeah, I know this other club that I manage that just reopened, and they'll let you in. They don't care there. They need business. They just got shot up. So he didn't say it like that, but that was basically yeah, the gist of it. But yeah, anyways, I met up with that Zayon McCall individual, because after he saw the video, he thought I was like resourceful, and I like, you know, some of my videos had like some decent views, and I had some decent like subscribers, and I had gained like a decent following. So he's like, oh, this kid's resourceful, maybe I can meet up with him, and, you know, he can help us out with something. Like, they weren't really interested in my music. He was talking about like, oh yeah, we could make you an A&R and stuff, but nothing ever came of it. Like, he never called me back, but it was cool. Like, my buddy and I, like, I didn't even have a car at the time, and we skateboarded like 2 hours, because like my buddy, it was like one of my buddies from the city, he like knew his way around the city, so we like skateboarded 2 hours to this this Zayn McCall's house, and it was like this like gated in like nice apartment building. It was like you had to like go through like the hood, but then it was like this like gated in really nice upscale apartment building, and he had this like big loft, and like all his buddies were there, and it was just kind of like a party vibe, and like every single person there was like had Gucci flip-flops. Like I opened the door and there was like 10 pairs of Gucci flip-flops. I don't know, I just remember that like literally everyone, like they either had the white ones or the black ones, like everyone had Gucci flip-flops. Like he hooked all his like friends up. But yeah, that was like a fun time. Even though nothing ever came of it, it was just like cool that he like humored me and like, you know, took the time to meet up with me, and I thought that was kind of fun. So I thought that was super relatable, like that these up and coming rappers would want to meet with Mac Daddy, you know, because like when you're an up and coming rapper, like any up and coming musician, like you want to take any break you can get. Like if someone has like a position where like they could help you out, they could get you some, you know, promotion, some notoriety, like they could put you on, like you wanna like network, you know, you're on like your little like businessman stuff. So I don't know, I liked that aspect of the movie, super relatable to me, and yeah, I thought that was a fun little touch. But anyways, I just wanted to share a personal story, because like I don't know, when stuff like resonates with me in movies, I just think of, you know, my own life and stuff. And yeah, this was just like giving me like fond memories of, you know, like I don't know, making rap videos and making rap songs and stuff. So I don't know, I thought it was kind of fun. It just, I don't know, made me feel good. But anyways, that was kind of a long drawn out story. Let me get into a couple other things. That was one of the main things I wanted to talk about. I liked how they were, you know, trying to get put on by Mac Daddy. I feel like, you know, that's realistic. Like any young rapper, you're trying to, you know, trying to catch a break. So yeah, I thought that was cool. But anyways, I just said that, but I don't know. Sometimes I repeat stuff. Like I'm like Bo Burnham, repeat stuff. Speaking of repeating stuff, the guys in this movie, they were good rappers, but like their chorus was like Lil Pump style, like just repeating stuff. I'm not hating. I like Lil Pump. He has some classic songs like Lil Pump by Lil Pump. That's a classic. And then what was that other song? D-Rose. That's a good song. I might have just lost credibility talking about I'm a rap fan, and then I just mentioned that I like Lil Pump, but I like all different type of rap. I like, you know, I don't know. I just like rap, period. I like the newer stuff, I like older stuff, like I like it all. I don't discriminate. So yeah, yeah, the guys in this movie, good rappers, but yeah, their choruses very repetitive. They need to, like, I don't know, put some variation up in there. But yeah, that's my critique. Who am I critiquing? I'm not even I don't know, a rap expert. So anyway, but I do like rap. But anyways, let me move on here. So another thing that I liked about this, there were actually some good kills. Like I said, like from my recollection, I thought a lot of these movies had bad kills and bland kills and just cutaways. But this movie, one of the first kills in the movie is Mac Daddy's friend gets stabbed in the throat with a pick. Like, that's super creative. That's awesome. Because, you know, he's got like a big afro, so he's got to have the pick going on. This dude gets stabbed in the throat with a pick. You see it, like, it's like squirting blood. He's got like this huge wound. The practical effects on that look fantastic, and that's super creative, super fun, super funny. I love it. There's this other instance where this dude, like the leprechaun, like magically like blows a hole through this dude's chest, and once again, the practical effects are beautiful. It's bloody, it's gory, you see everything, you like see through the guy's chest. It looks fantastic. And then another kill that I really like is the leprechaun like sticks his hand through this other guy's chest, and you see like the leprechaun's hand come out with like his little like claw fingers, and it's just all bloody and just all red and slimy, and once again, fantastic practical effects. So I didn't remember the kills being great in this movie, but those 3 kills were fantastic. Like I thought the kills were very good in this movie. Great effects, all practical, no CGI BS. The kills were on point. And then now I'm gonna get into funny moments, and then I'm gonna piece the heck out. So, okay, early on in the movie, Mac Daddy pulls out a knife out of his afro. He's just pulling random stuff out of his afro to fight the leprechaun, and he pulls out like a switchblade, and then this fool pulls out an entire bat from his afro. That was absolutely hilarious. I love that. This is probably the most iconic scene in the movie. This is arguably one of the most iconic scenes in the franchise, like legit. When the leprechaun is smoking weed with Mac Daddy, he's like, like Mac Daddy lets him hit his joint, and he's puffing on it. And I think he smokes weed in the next one too, the Back to the Hood one. But I don't know, this is an iconic scene. This is arguably the leprechaun's funniest rhyme and his most iconic rhyme. Like I was working, like my last job I was working at this restaurant, and I was talking to this one gentleman about these movies, and he mentioned that line like right off the bat. He's like, a friend with weed is a friend indeed, but a friend with gold is the best, I'm told. And like he was like an older guy, so he had probably seen these like, when they initially came out on VHS. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's the best line. Like I'm like, my man, you know that movie? Like even though I didn't like at that time I didn't like the movie as much as I liked it after this watch, like I still thought it was cool that he knew that reference. I'm like, that's my guy. But anyways, I just said the line. That's probably one of the best like leprechaun rhymes in the franchise. That's solid stuff. Super funny. I like when like the 3 main guys are rapping in church, and the one guy, I think his name is Stray Bullet. He keeps saying kind of like inappropriate stuff, and then there's like all these like older, more reserved people in church, and they're just looking at him like in shock, like, huh? Did he just say ho? Like what is going on? This is Sunday service. What are you doing? And then Postmaster P, he just like plays the magical flute, and then everyone's just like jamming. All the old people are just like dancing. Everyone's dancing to their like inappropriate rap at church. I thought that was hilarious. And then another standout funny scene was there's this blind lady, and she's like feeding the leprechaun like he's like a little baby, and then she just accidentally stabs him in the eyeball with a fork and like rips out his eye. I don't know why, but I thought that was pretty darn funny. I mean, of course it's supposed to be, but I don't know. I love stuff like that. So that was just super random, super funny. I loved it. So yeah, I was so pleasantly surprised rewatching this movie. Like I was dreading watching this. I thought, I was gonna hate it. I thought this was one of the ones in the franchise that I was not a fan of, but I think this is one of the better ones. So, like I said, I like part 3. I think part 4 is decent. I think, I think Leprechaun in the Hood is a solid entry as well. I think this is definitely worth watching. This is a super fun entry. So, yeah, I'm like, as I'm reviewing these movies and rewatching them, they're starting to like grow on me, where like the last 2 reviews, I feel like I was kind of like a little bit negative on the franchise, and I still don't think it's the best franchise, but who does? It's Leprechaun. It's just, they're fun little cheap movies. Some of them suck, some of them are decent. It is what it is. But I'm telling you, I think this franchise is growing on me after rewatching them, and I'm telling you what, I would recommend Leprechaun in the Hood. I think it's a solid entry in the franchise. So there you go. If you're looking for something to watch before St. Patrick's Day, look no further. Watch Leprechaun in the Hood. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go out and say it. Leprechaun in the Hood. It's a certified hood classic. There you have it. EA3 Reviews is telling you Leprechaun in the Hood. It's a certified hood classic. So go out and watch it before St. Patrick's Day. Go drink your green beers. Get turned up. Have a beautiful time. Stay safe. And peace out. Thank you very much for watching.